Learning Spanish can be two out of these three things: easy, cheap, and good. You unfortunately cannot have all three. It can be easy and it can be cheap, but unfortunately, then it's not good. Think Duolingo. Easy, cheap. Does anybody actually learn anything on Duolingo? The answer is no. Duolingo sucks. Sorry, but it does. You could also have easy and good, right? For example, Spanish lessons where you just show up to the class. In the Spanish lessons, you're taught everything that you need to know and you just got to practice. It's easy. It's good. It is not cheap. Spanish lessons get brutally expensive. That is going to leave us with this last one right here. Great marker. Cheap and good. You can learn Spanish cheap. You can learn actual Spanish, like actually learn something. It is not going to be easy. Despite what all these other guys are telling you that, oh, you can learn Spanish super easy on your own. You know, it's YouTube. You have to say things to make people happy. If you want to learn Spanish cheap, if you want to learn actual Spanish that you can use, it is not going to be easy, guys. It is going to take some serious amount of work, but it is entirely possible, and we're going to get you there as fast as we possibly can, literally by following these 4 steps. Now, you guys may be curious as to why I chose Pimsleur out of all the apps, and again, this is not something I'm affiliated with. This is just something that I genuinely really like and I believe in, because to be honest with you guys, when it came to Spanish, I did not have to start from zero. My mother is Spanish, from Argentina. So I got to listen. I got to listen to a lot of Spanish when I was a kid. Now I never practiced speaking, so I was never able to speak, but I was trained to the noise of Spanish and I could understand the basics. So let's talk about a language that I was starting from absolutely zero. Norwegian and Lithuanian. You guys might be thinking, Marcus, what kind of languages have you chosen and why? Well, obviously, I was trying to impress a Lithuanian girl who lived in Norway. So, come on, it's common sense, guys. And then I had to learn Lithuanian and Norwegian. Now, saying that I learned Lithuanian and Norwegian is a stretch, but every single day I had the app Pimsleur and I was doing the lessons. I was walking down the street every single day. I had the Pimsleur lessons in my ear. They're quick 30-minute sessions where it just teaches you the basics, like the actual basics from zero. Guys, you think I know anything about Norwegian? You think I know anything about Lithuanian? But by the end, of the month of practicing, I could form the basic sentences. I had an idea of the sentence structure. When I showed up to Norway to impress the Lithuanian girl, I was able to spit out, even though nothing significant, a few sentences in Norwegian. Jeg snakker ikke norsk. Or Lithuanian. I don't know if I remember any. Ar jūs esate lietuviškai. The point being, guys, Pimsleur was a great way for me to get into the language with absolutely zero starting point, like literally nothing. If you can spend a month on Spanish doing the Pimsleur lessons, doing the flashcards and following the subjects, this is something that I spent hours, maybe not hours, like an hour or two every day, is walking down the street, listening to the lessons of Pimsleur, and then afterwards, the app has a really great flashcards section. So you go and you learn the flashcards and you perfect them, It gives you subjects, you're not just learning freaking random words that you're just pulling out of the air. No, it has programmed subjects. You go in, you learn the flashcards, you do your daily lesson. This is a great way to get a starting point, to go from zero up until okay, this language is starting to make a little bit of sense. So you guys got it? Step number 1. Pimsleur, subjects and flashcards, freaking easy. On to the next step. So guys, step number 2, once you have a very basic idea of how Spanish sounds, how the sentences work, kind of what the different words mean and how you can string together sentences, it's time to take it to the next level. YouTube plus ChatGPT. Just like Pimsleur, right, there's going to be structured lessons that you need to follow. Again, you can't really learn a language just by absorbing random stuff. You need somebody to teach you structured lessons. Luckily, we have YouTube, which is completely free. Now, here I have highlighted very hard conjugations. I think it is so important for you to learn all the different conjugations of the different tenses before anything else, because this opens up so many doors for vocabulary that you're going to learn in the future that you can already start implementing. All the different verbs that you're going to use in the upcoming steps, you are going to be able to use if you master the conjugations. So go onto YouTube. The Language Tutor Spanish is the guy that I really like. Again, not sponsored. I just found his videos quite helpful and very clear. The Language Tutor Spanish he has from 0 up until 100. I don't know, 0 up until whatever. And I want you to go on there and focus on how to learn the present tense. And then I want you to go on there and focus how to use the past tense, and then the future tense, and then the subjunctive tense, and then imperfect subjunctive. All these absurdly different, crazy conjugations that Spanish makes us learn. I want you to go and watch all those lessons as a next step. But while you're doing that, I want you to take it to ChatGPT and get in the repetition. I feel better if I hold a marker. Get in the repetition. So for example, if you were learning present tense conjugations, right? Yo quiero, tú quieres, vos querés. The only way you're going to actually be able to use that is if you just do an absurd amount of repetition so you don't need to think about it anymore. As soon as you don't need to think about it anymore, you're one step closer to fluency. So guys, you're going to take whatever lesson to ChatGPT. You are going to create 10 fill-in-the-blank questions with whatever tense you just learned. It's going to spit out 10 fill-in-the-blank questions. You are going to have the answers because it's also going to give you the answers, and you're just going to fill it out until you get them all right. It's going to say, yo blank, ir a la tienda. Say, I want to go to the store. You're going to say, yo quiero ir a la tienda. And that's just how you're going to get the freaking repetition in. Go learn those lessons, get the repetition in, learn how the language works even further, and then we're going to take it to the next step. All right, folks, so once you've done a little bit of Pimsleur to understand how the language sounds, to get a couple sentences down, once you've used YouTube and ChatGPT to get those repetition in, to kind of figure out how the conjugations are working, what the present tense is, what the past tense is, what the future tense is, then we are going to take it to step number 3, which is YouTube Premium. Now, again, you don't necessarily need to get YouTube Premium, but it is going to be such a game changer because with YouTube Premium, you can have your phone off in your pocket, you can download whatever you're going to listen to, and that is just going to make it so you can listen passively while you're doing things throughout the day. That's step number C, genius. All right, so whatever you're interested right now, you can watch those videos in Spanish with subtitles. Now, I'm not talking about subtitles in English, I'm talking about subtitles in Spanish. Now, this can be about literally anything. If you're watching YouTube videos and learning something, you're watching me tell you how to learn Spanish, you could be watching this video in Spanish. Maybe you should be. But basically, anytime you're on YouTube and you're learning something or you're researching something or you're just wasting time watching YouTube videos, find YouTube videos in Spanish and enable automatic subtitles. That way, not only are you listening to these people speak Spanish, you're training your ear to hear the sound, but you're not going to understand everything that goes on. I listen to Spanish videos every single day from Argentina, and I don't understand every single word, even to this day. So with those subtitles down there, I can read the word, which helps me understand what was said, because sometimes people say words and then they slur them together with other different words and it all mixes up into one. But if you have those subtitles, you understand how those words work together, and then in the future when you hear it again, you'll know what's being said. Boom. Number 2, podcasts and streams, right? This here is exactly why I recommend YouTube Premium. Right now in the morning when I'm walking my dog, I put on the news in Buenos Aires, the news in Argentina. I have it in my ear playing. Now because I already have a good idea of how the language sounds, practicing conjugations, I just need to get the freaking vocabulary in. I have this playing in my ear when I walk the dog. When I was working stocking shelves a little bit ago, I had this playing in my ear and I was listening to the people speak. I found talk shows of a bunch of, Spanish speakers. They're all goofing around, talking to each other. They're speaking really like within friends and using their slang, and depending on how hard you want it to be, news is probably difficult. Talk shows within people is probably a little bit difficult. It's all going to be hard, but like I said, it's going to have to be hard. It's not going to be an easy thing to do. So you got it. Whatever YouTube videos you're watching, one out of every 4 videos, go watch it in Spanish, put on the subtitles so you can read what's being said at the same time. When you're walking your dog in the morning, if you're just laboring at work, if you're at the gym and you're doing cardio, go put on a podcast or a stream of whatever accent you're trying to learn. Again, could be from anywhere. You can go online. I'm sure there's a bunch of different people with their own little Spanish podcasts that'll teach you their own language. Again, YouTube Premium is going to make that a lot easier. And then just do this all the time. Train your ear 24/7, well, 24/7, not really, but you know what I mean, as much as you possibly can to have that accent ingrained, to have the language training into your ear. It may not feel like you're learning, but when you're practicing speaking, all of a sudden you're going to spit out these words that you didn't even know were like in your brain, but it's just because you're listening to it. You hear it all the time. You hear the phrases that are said all the time, and your brain is just going to spit it up, and you're going to be like, whoa, what just happened? So now we are reaching the final stages where you're going to have to start speaking. Unfortunately, guys, it's part of the game. It's the hardest part. You're going to have conversations. You're going to have to speak. You're going to have to bumble and fumble around with your language that you're not prepared to talk in yet. But I mean, that's the way you're going to learn, is by not knowing which word to say in that situation and then having to learn it on the spot. But the only way you're going to get to this point is if you follow all those 3 steps before. If you already know the conjugations you need to use, if you can already understand what the other person is telling you. So that's why I've left this one for the final last step. It is more advanced. This is when you're approaching that level of fluidity and you just want to practice and get that part down. So listen, guys, I am going to show you an AI that you're going to have conversations with every single day. It instantly corrects your grammar. It gives you a ton of repetition, and most important, it's low pressure. You guys are watching this video because you want want to learn Spanish on your own. This way, you don't have to talk to somebody who's going to judge you. This way, you're talking to a robot and you can say the stupidest things. You'll be okay. Nobody's going to make fun of you. And this one, I actually do have an affiliate link. So you can click the first link in the description to try it out for free. And if you guys do like it, you can use my code Marcus20 for 20% off if you buy the subscription. So let's hop onto the computer. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I use this program that has helped me become significantly more confident and practice my Spanish for an hour every single day. So guys, quickly before we get into how you're going to have conversations every single day to become ultimately fluent in Spanish, I'm going to tell you two things. Number one is she understands English, okay? It's very important. So if you're trying to speak Spanish and you can't say a word, you can say it in English and she'll give it back to you in Spanish, meaning that's a situation where your brain is going to, that's a word that you now know. Number two is, let's turn on written corrections. You can pick whichever accent you're trying to learn. Every different Spanish country, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, they don't really speak Spanish. They speak some crazy thing that nobody understands. That's a joke about the Chilean accent. But it's very important that you actually learn the accent of where you're trying to learn Spanish for. So a lot of people are trying to learn Spanish for Spain. Me, for example, I am doing Argentina. So we're going to select that. And now we can literally just have conversations about whatever we want. So for example, right now I'm making YouTube videos. I'm going to talk to her about making a YouTube video. Or if you are...
Hola, ¿cómo andas?
Hola, estoy haciendo un video para YouTube y quiero generar otras ideas también. Very horrible example of my Spanish, but this is going to be good because I freaking stumbled like an idiot.
Qué bueno.
So let's see. Hola, estoy haciendo un video para YouTube y I'm stuttering like a moron. I said otras ideas, right? It's otras ideas. I said quiero generar. She just kind of fixed me a little bit there. You can even dive a little bit deeper and she'll tell you why otras idiomas is because it's feminine. There it is, right? Otros should be otras. So the point is here is, guys, you can speak, you can make as many mistakes as you possibly can, and you're going to see immediately the mistakes you're about to make. And if you know the Argentinian accent...
¿Qué trata tu video de YouTube? Los videos siempre dan para un montón de ideas nuevas cuando uno se pone a pensar.
Bueno, mañana quiero hacer un video sobre todo lo que aprendí del español argentino, como el lunfardo y cómo aprendí todo. Entonces voy a decir los podcasts que escuché y la gente con quien hablé y todo eso. There you go. That came out a little bit better. We're going to see. Did I speak Spanish properly or am I moron? Beautiful. Like when you guys, you're going to understand this when you try it out. When you try this out, guys, if you get perfect grammar, it's like the best feeling. No grammar mistakes in that one. It's like unbelievable. Let's do one more thing. You guys remember how I was telling you to perfect those conjugations? If we go to grammar practice, provide my own topic, and English to Spanish, now we can even speak. Remember how I was telling you to do fill in the blanks? Well, now we're actually going to freaking speak. We're going to pick which tense I want to do. So let's just say subjunctive, present subjunctive. Again, I said this in English because she understands English.
Perfecto. Arrancamos con el presente del subjuntivo. Primera oración. I hope you have a good day.
Espero que tengas un buen día. Right? Easy, but she's going to give me another one. I'm going to say it. She's going to give me another one. I'm going to say
Siguiente oración. It's important that...
Es importante que llegue en tiempo. That was wrong. It's a tiempo. Now, I've done this enough times to realize...
Corrección. Es importante...
A tiempo, right? And we can click this here. So guys, if you want to try this out, link in the description for a free trial. And if you like it as much as I do, I use this every single day, you can use code Marcos20 to get 20% off your subscription. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would recommend you watch this one. This is about my experience living in Argentina, trying to learn Spanish there, because one day you might fly abroad to learn a language. Those are the lessons that I would have told somebody in my situation. And I will see you guys in the next video.